So, coming from Reuters, after Anthropic shutdown, China's Z.ai closes frontier gap as it plans a dual listing. So, I think this is an interesting story because a couple of stories ago, I recorded how the new version of ChatGPT is literally going to have to go through the US government, and our government is going to choose on a company by company basis who was able to initially use the new ChatGPT. I do believe it is 5.6 version, right? And what I think is kind of curious is there's this whole, US versus China and the whole AI war. And what's really weird is it seems like we are Tanya hardening ourselves. We're taking a stick, we're busting our own kneecaps, and then we're wondering why this race isn't working out the way we thought it was going to. And so that's the interesting thing with Z.ai. They've come up before. I did a video about them a little while ago, where basically the CEO of Z.ai literally thinks that they will have, or at least he's stating that he will have a mythos level model, be able to be competitive with the Mythos model from Anthropic by before the end of the year. So basically, the Mythos model, the Fable 5 model, has been banned from any non-American using them because supposedly they're so powerful and so dangerous. And now we now we have the Chinese coming out being like, well, if you're not allowed to use the Mythos or Fable model, from Anthropic, don't worry. We're going to have a model that's just as capable in only a couple of months. And this is where I've been arguing for a long time now, as I've said many times. If I'm a CIO, if I'm a CTO in Argentina, I cannot fathom why I would choose the American AI stack right now. When you look at the disaster of our AI policy and you look at how fast China is moving with their AI development. So we go and take a look at this. Chinese AI startup Z.ai said on Thursday it plans to use domestic listing proceeds to fund a quest for AI general intelligence after its latest model scored close to leading US models from Anthropic and OpenAI on public benchmarks. Z.ai's flagship GLM 5.2 model, released a day after Anthropic disabled worldwide access to its most advanced models, stunned global users after its performance benchmarks narrowly trailed leading closed source models. So this is what we're talking about now. The Chinese models are narrowly trailing the closed source models. Quote, our mission is to obtain AGI, so right now our focus is how to improve our model to achieve the upper bound of intelligence, so all these resources are helping us, said the technical lead of the firm's Code Geeks team. The accompanying surge investor interest since shares rallying more than 2,000% from their blockbuster Hong Kong debut in January to cross a threshold of $128 billion in market capitalization this week. Quote, this model is comparable to the top closed models, Zhang told reporters at its head office in Beijing. Quote, it's the first time that an open source model really delivers very solid coding and agent performance that can compare with the leading proprietary AI companies like Anthropic and OpenAI. GLM 5.2 now holds fourth place on artificial analysis LLM intelligence leaderboard and the second spot on Code Arena's front-end coding leaderboard, operating at roughly a sixth of the cost of closed U.S. frontier models. And that's the thing to be thinking about with this, right? Because there's this whole argument, right? Lutnick comes out and says, American AI is strong. I don't know what any of that means, right? He was talking about that with beef. American beef is strong. European beef is weak. And you're like, like seriously, what is that? I'm not really sure what that means. But anyways, the interesting thing to think about with this is, again, if they're getting fourth place on the leaderboards, fourth place on one leaderboard, second place on another leaderboard, and they're coming in at a sixth the cost of the U.S. Models, right? You're saying, okay, I'm going to get slightly less performance, and that's one of the big things to think about with these AI services, really any technology services. Are you even going to notice? That's going to be one of the big arguments. Okay, this is worse. Let's just accept that. Let's just accept that the Chinese model is worse. But here's the question. Are you going to notice? Are you, is the gap large enough and is it significant enough for the tasks that you're trying to accomplish that you even notice the difference? And I would argue for a lot of folks doing a lot of things, they're probably not even going to notice the difference. You know what they are going to notice? That it costs a sixth as much. You mean this thing costs a sixth what that does, and there's a good chance I am not going to notice the difference, right? I've talked about that before when I was doing really well with YouTube, way back in the day. To be clear, back in the day, a while ago, I was doing really well with YouTube, right? And so I wanted to go out and I wanted to buy myself an Audi. True, I went to the dealership and I had cash. This wasn't loan or anything like that. I got the cash, the YouTube cash. I was gonna buy myself a really nice Audi. And so I go to the Audi dealership. I'm sitting in these Audis. I'm just like, I don't know. And then I went and bought a Ford. True story. True story. I went and bought a Ford Escape, a titanium edition Ford Escape, I'll have you know. Again, I paid a fraction of the cost, and I could. I like Ford. I guess I like Fords. I had the ability to buy an Audi, and you're sitting in that Audi, and you're like, I mean, it's nice. I mean, it's nice, but I bought a Ford. And that's where I kind of feel like with these whole Chinese models, and this is not snarking on China or denigrating China or anything else. I do really wonder with artificial intelligence, are we going to get to the Ford moment of artificial intelligence? Whereas like even for the companies that can't afford the Audi, can't afford the Anthropic, can't afford the OpenAI, but they look at the results from those products. They look at the results from whether it's from Z.ai or where whatever it's the Chinese, and you're like, they're fine. They're fine. Look, it's a sixth the price. I can spend that amount of money, but if I can spend a lot less, I can take that difference and buy myself a Ford, buy myself a titanium edition Ford. And I think that's what we're going to be getting into with a lot of this AI race. And that's where, as I've said many times before, I think our policy is a disaster. This isn't pro-China. This is our policy is a disaster. Oh, the sudden, quote, unplugging of closed U.S. frontier models has unleashed severe anxiety among global allies such as Canada and France, who leaders heavily criticized over-reliance on U.S.-controlled AI infrastructure at the G7 summit last week. Yep. For the first time, a Chinese open source AI model has come close to bridging the frontier gap with heavily funded Western AI labs after previously surpassing U.S. open source models such as Google's Gemma and Meta's Llama series despite constraints on computing power. Analysts previously estimated that the performance capabilities of top Chinese AI models were 4 to 6 months behind leading U.S. models. And this is the other thing I really want to hammer here. Like when we talk about China being behind, right? Even if you think I'm a Sinophile, even if you think I'm blowing up China more than they deserve, okay, but look, even these people, like 4 to 6 months behind. Like how far behind it? Literally, we're June of 2026. Even if you go by these pessimistic estimates of where China is, that means they're in January 2026. Right? Has there been, again, other than theoretically mythos, maybe, other than mythos, has there been some massive revolution between January and now that has changed the game as far as artificial intelligence is concerned? If you were forced to use AI that was from January 2026, would you even notice the difference? And so that's what I want you to understand here. Even the people that are pessimistic towards China's AI stack, the gap simply isn't that big anymore. Specializing coding in complex long horizon tasks, the model has a 750 billion total parameters and a massive 1 million token context window. It was released with inference adaptation to a wide variety of domestic chip infrastructure users, including Huawei Ascend clusters, the company said in a blog post. Since February, Z.ai's GLM5 series has been adapted to run on domestic semiconductors after the US tightened China's access to advanced NVIDIA chips. Quote, "We are trying our best to improve our infrastructure and to make the model more efficient on different kinds of chips." And so this is the other thing, again, with the whole thing with China building their AI hardware stack, right? So they're getting more and more performance out of these Huawei Ascend clusters. JP Morgan projected the firm's revenue to balloon to more than by more than 534% this year, and for it to turn profitable in 2028. But Z.ai only earns a fraction of the revenue of its U.S. counterparts, stock exchange filings show. I do also think this is kind of an interesting thing, and this is where we're going to get hit because all of our AI companies, the valuations are just they're just dumb. However you feel about AI technology, SpaceX is currently at $2 trillion, right? OpenAI wants to be $1 trillion. Anthropic wants to be $1 trillion, right? The valuations are absolutely insane. So no matter how, basically, they're trying to grow so quickly. No matter how much money they bring in, they're still losing money. And so this is one of those weird digs like America does towards China. It's like, oh well, they're going to be profitable on a reasonable horizon. Like Z.ai, I mean, they might be profitable in 2028, but they're not going to have the revenue of OpenAI. And you're like, yeah, so the Chinese companies are on a realistic path to profitability. But what we should be focusing on is the revenue of OpenAI as they lose billions upon billions upon billions of dollars every year. And then again, this is my frustration with the whole U.S. versus China thing. China, and truly, China is building a stack. China is building solutions. China is building companies. They're building profitability and the rest of it. We are building idiotic bubbles. One of the articles I'll get to at some point. OpenAI looks like they're going to be pushing their IPO towards 2027, and one of the reasons they're pushing the IPO towards 2027 is that apparently Sam Altman has literally stated that a valuation of under $1 trillion for the IPO is a non-starter. He will not accept an evaluation at all of under $1 trillion for OpenAI. Right? And so we have China building, creating value, going down the path to actual profitability. And you look at our AI industry, and other than Nvidia, God bless Nvidia, they're swimming in cash. But other than Nvidia, it's a bit questionable about what the hell we're doing. Oh, let's see here. Quote, we are trying to lower the cost, but because the demand is too large, maybe in the future we will still need to increase the price, said Zhang, but we want the model accessible to everyone. So notice this. They're saying we're trying to lower the cost, but there is so much demand that maybe they're going to have to increase the prices. Because again, that's how the market normally works. Its next GLM 5.5 model is expected to be released in August and could become the next key milestone in Chinese frontier AI. So, anyways, this is what's coming down the pike. And, as I say with these things, with AI out of China, yep. Hey, look, it's four. Who would have thought that 2 plus 2 would equal 4? It's shocking. Shocking. So yeah, what do you think about this? What do you think about China's Z.ai closing the gap with Anthropic and with OpenAI? What do you think about with the Chinese models closing the gap at the exact same time that the U.S. government is literally cracking down on our own AI models and causing problems? What do you think about this, right? Like even if the models are a few months behind, even if the model, let's say, like I say, the Chinese models are from January 2026 instead of being from June 2026, as far as capability is concerned, right? If you can pay a sixth of the amount to access those resources, what is the more valuable proposition there? And as we've seen China gear up, and as we've seen them gain speed, How long do you think until they go past us? I don't know. Put your thoughts. Put your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like these episodes, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. Also, if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. And with that, see y'all later.